So this is a 1996 Jeep Cherokee XJ. So what I'm preparing to do is upgrade the power steering to a WJ. I think it's from 2002-ish with the Hydra steer, in effort to get a little bit more oomph out of the power steering. As you can see, I've got the air box removed. This is, well, I don't think it matters if it's right hand or left hand drive, but this is a left hand drive. And I'm running 33-inch mud terrain tires. So stationary, it's a little bit heavy on the hands to steer just on asphalt. When it comes off road, it gets a little bit more finicky, and you almost have to stand on the brake a little bit to get enough pressure in the hydraulic system for the existing Saginaw steering system to work and turn the wheels. I'm referring to being off-road and aired down to around 10 or so psi, and being on the rocks. That's kind of like the worst case scenario. So what I've done at this point, of course, I've removed the secondary cooling fan, the electric cooling fan, the belt. The low pressure line has been disconnected and is just kind of dangling there. I've got a collector pan, although I'm gonna have to clean the driveway anyway. But anyway, high pressure hose has been also disconnected, sitting over there. And so I've already started my adaptation. Here I have an AN8 fitting. This adapts to, I think it's what, the 14 millimeter by 1 or 1.5. And I'm going to take an AN 45 degree AN8 hose barb connection, and that's going to connect to some 1/2-inch hose, which is going to connect not to here but to the new unit. And I'll show that here shortly. And here's that WJ power steering pump with the reservoir removed. I've got a new pulley. This is just the Dorman part for the XJ, the 6-rib pulley. Anyway, yeah, I'm not really thrilled about the Dorman. Yeah, that's sketchy as hell. When you have an interference fit and then you start fitting things together and the paint chips off and then you see all the rust. Yeah, it's kind of not cool, but I digress. So I've taken note from some other folks that have done this upgrade before. One of the things they mention is, here's the high pressure fitting for the XJ versus the one that comes on the WJ power steering pump. You will have to take the one off for the XJ power steering pump, and it's like a 22 millimeter socket. But note that there's a piston in here that's spring loaded, and it will give you a little surprise if you're not expecting that. But just dropped the reservoir. Externally, if we look at the important bits, it looks like all the stuff that needs to be the same is, and I'm willing to say that the orifice here between the two is pretty dang close. So I'm not going to bother trying to drill anything. I'm just going to install the XJ adapter back into the WJ pump. So I'm dry fitting in the push lock connector, the AN8 push lock connector. This will be for the 1/2-inch transmission cooler hose, and this is a 45 degree AN8 fitting, and that sits on top of the 14 millimeter power steering to AN8 adapter fitting. So this looks like it works out pretty well, and the reason I say that is because it clears the radiator hose, and it allows you to put a stress loop in. So which I highly recommend. And previously I had said I think I said push lock on this AN8 fitting. No, it's a hose barb. with 1/2-inch hose on this. So yeah, one of the things is try get this all the way on to the back of that fitting as possible. I think this could probably go just a little bit farther back. I can still spin it, but yeah, I'm going to put some more oomph on that and get that all the way seated down. I'm going to put a clamp on this. It'll be just a cheesy worm drive clamp. Not a whole lot of pressure going through this. I hope it doesn't put too much pressure on between the fitting and the hose so it cuts it, but we'll see. There's some other options. I didn't go braided because if you go the AN6 braided, which it should work. I'm sorry, AN8 braided, which is close to 1/2 inch. It's not quite. It's a little bit under 1/2 inch, and you won't be able to push that on. So this is what the pump looks like installed. As you can see, putting the XJ outlet adapter on allows us to put the factory XJ high pressure line on, and the belt's on. It's loose at the moment, but one of the things I wanted to check was pressing that pulley on, making sure it's on plane, and it looks like it is. Being a little off would be okay, but no more than like maybe a 1/16 of an inch. It really depends on distance too, but anyhow, here we are. We've got the line with the cheesy worm drive hose clamp on there. Our AN8 fitting is tight. I put a loop in here. Yes, that's going to require us to burp the air bubble out of there, but that's okay. It's not that important. It's just a return. I'm probably going to zip tie this to the high pressure line. One of the things we want to check though, when we put the stuff in, is look for rubs, right? Like maybe rubbing against the fuel line just a tad. Seems like it's okay though. I'm gonna have to check for leaks before I button everything up, but the other point you want to check is like right down there. So there's a gap there. What you don't want is over time this hard line wearing a hole in something. That'd be bad. Done some cleanup here. I'm maybe a little OCD about that, but sorry for the shadow. But the main area I was worried about was down here by the AN fitting, right? Do we have any leaks? It got kind of everywhere initially because I had overfilled that. Just a piece of advice for those of you that end up doing this mod: don't fill this to capacity first. Just put a little bit in, and then jack up your front end, move your steering back and forth just to kind of work some of the air bubbles out. And then I'd say about 5 or 6 good good turns lock to lock. Start the engine up with the vehicle still raised, the front end, and then just work it back to lock to lock a few times. You'll eventually hear everything start to get quiet, and once the cavitation is gone, you shouldn't have any more bubbles anywhere. So you should be good to go. These are straightforward. I know this isn't the most elegant solution. It's just a return line. Of course, with the WJ, the 4.7, with the hydro fan, you have to put a 3/8 vacuum cap or some other plug on that other return line. Not a huge deal. I don't know if I'm comfortable with the vacuum cap, and the reason why is over time, however many heat cycles, eventually that thing's gonna leak. So I mean, good news is it's easy to get a new one. Anyway, as far as the steering ease, so far I've only tested it in the driveway on concrete. It's not as grand of a difference as some people have made it out to be. I think in my case, I'm running 33s, and I think they're filled about 35 psi right now. These are new tires. Is it an upgrade? Yes. Is it like a replacement for hydro steer or something more significant if I went with bigger tires? No, I'd say no, absolutely not. We'll have to cross that bridge when I get to it, but I think this pump is at least a good start. It's not the complete solution. Next is the steering box. I have to do a little bit more research to figure out if going with the Durango steering box, a blue top or a red head is the best option. So I guess we'll see. We shall see.